Okidoki. Undead Girl Murder Farce is a pretty on-the-nose title, like it's one step up from Severed Female Head Souls Mysteries. But what it lacks in naming makes up for by being one of the best shows from summer 2023. An anime filled with charismatic characters, irresistible dialogue, and spectacular visuals. Which is unfortunate because this kind of slipped under the radar for a lot of people. That's why I want to talk about it, because mate, I need you to watch this. We'll start at the beginning. We get introduced to Tsugaru, a performer for this back alley circus, or more accurately, a freak in a fight club filled with things that go bump in the night. It's a pretty decent hook, you always love to see a bit of action, but it's the next part that really caught my attention. After being told by the ringleader that he's not quite a performer, more of a monster, we see Tsugaru move into another room, talking in a rhythmic manner about Enma and paradise, followed by this which seems like a pretty nonsensical line at first. I don't think the English dictionary is privy to whatever opekape is. So I did what any YouTuber looking for cool details to talk about would do and looked it up. Turns out, these are actually the lyrics to the oldest Japanese rap song, where the opekape is meant to be an onomatopoeia or sound effect for a trumpet. You'll also find out that this is a satirical song containing lyrics taking jabs at the political climate at the time, sort of poking fun at the rich and powerful, basically recontextualizing this entire scene to Tsugaru making fun of his boss behind his back, which is pretty cool in my opinion, and does a great job of setting up Tsugaru's personality, this trash-talking powerhouse that is constantly trying to be clever with every line that comes out of his mouth. Granted, most of my research did come from Wikipedia. You know what they say, Wikipedia is not a reliable source. Shut up, 7th grade English teacher, let me spread my misinformation. You probably noticed there's two other main characters as well, a stoic maid and this. Aya is the main detective here, as you only really need a head to solve mysteries. Trust me, the anime reminds you every chance it gets, and it's always funny. There's a lot of dialogue here that can basically be categorized as shit-eating banter, because Aya and Tsugaru are constantly cracking jokes at each other and giggling like a bunch of manic children. I think I counted like 12 instances of a joke being made at the expense of Aya's disability, and 3/4 of them come from Aya herself.
Rindou-san, あなたは食べなくてもよろしいのですか?
お気になさらず、私は食べたくても食べられないんです。最近太り気味でしてね。
師匠よしてくださいよ。パンが飛んじゃったじゃないですか。
Shizuka as well, she just basically hates Tsugaru. To give some context, Tsugaru is half Oni, half human, and is at risk of his Oni side taking over and killing him every time he uses his powers. Aya, being an immortal, can boost Tsugaru's immune system against the Oni cells by having him ingest part of her. Since she's just a head, they decide the best option is saliva, and at that point you might as well go straight for the source. So yeah, Shizuka hates this, and makes this very clear. It's just this constant triangle of charisma and chemistry where all three of the mains bounce off each other so well, laughing at Aya's jokes, getting exasperated whenever Tsugaru just won't shut up, and watching Shizuka kick you while you're down. Also, it's very obvious that when Aya did have her body, she was solving all kinds of mysteries with Shizuka, if you get what I mean. Now, I've only talked about the characters, which probably isn't enough to convince you why Undead Girl Murder Farce is worth watching, and that's because I haven't really brought up what makes this anime amazing: the storytelling and directing. We will be getting into some spoilers because this is a mystery anime after all. Proceed at your own discretion. Now, Tsugaru and Aya are both fantastic storytellers. You kind of have to be when it comes to solving mysteries. If you're going to explain who killed the butler in the library with the candlestick, you might as well make it as entertaining as possible. But I want to focus on Tsugaru, because he's pretty much the embodiment of a circus ringleader and a rakugo performer merged together. You might have noticed, but action isn't the main focus here, even though what we do get is pretty great to look at. Tsugaru is usually the one doing the fighting, and every single fight, he's just firing quips at his opponents. I don't think he takes a single fight seriously. Like, during the vampire battle, he's just introducing himself like the next act in a show while absolutely demolishing this poor kid. He even has this final line that is just so cold.
違う。だって僕は吸血鬼だ。気高くて強くて強い。そいつはどうでしょうね。ドラキュラ伯爵の方がまだ骨がありました。
The rakugo comes in a lot too. He's constantly telling stories whenever he can, and it's always creatively woven into whatever scenario he's in. Like when he's fighting against a clean freak, and he's telling a story about someone who spent all his time looking down the ground, complaining about the bugs, garbage, and filth. His fixation resulting in him never being aware of his surroundings and eventually being shit on by a bird, all to distract him while someone else drops a piano on his opponent. Or when he's referencing pot thief, a story that's pretty self-explanatory. Thieves are stealing pots and pans from every single house in Edo. One store owner decides to hide inside his cauldron to stop it from getting stolen, but ends up falling asleep and getting stolen right along with it. Just like how Aya did a Trojan horse and placed herself inside a safe that someone wanted to steal. It all just combines to make every single line from these characters so entertaining to watch. You're completely along for the ride, absorbing every bit of information while you're trying to solve the mystery for yourself, or just enjoying the wide cast of characters interacting with each other. And all of this gets elevated by how good the anime looks. There is never a dull moment when it comes to the visuals. During the fight with Shizuka and Tsugaru, we see the action reflected through the river next to them, panels popping in and sliding all over the screen as characters talk to each other, shifting the perspective to being inside the birdcage, looking at the world through the eyes of Aya as she interrogates the murder suspects. There's just so many cool shots throughout to complement the explanations, like when it's revealing how a crime was done, or explaining how someone's ability works. Even the small details, like shots dedicated to Tsugaru rotating Aya as she changes which person she's talking to, or this transition where it's just an overall strap snapping into place. This anime decided to insert an awful green screen effect, which was definitely done on purpose, all for the sake of adding style. There are some moments where I wasn't so sure about it, like these low frame repeats or PowerPoint transitions, but they're so minuscule that I couldn't care less about them. Which makes me wonder who on earth is the director for this anime? And lo and behold, it's the same guy that brought Kaguya-sama to life. I'm not one to care too much about the staff for an anime, but I think I've become a simp for the way Hatakeyama Mamoru directs anime. He just injects so much personality to everything he touches. But that's all I want to talk about with Undead Girl Murder Farce. I really just wanted to talk about how good this show is. And I'm so sad to see that the novel is untranslated and the manga stopped at volume 3. And if I have to be honest, glancing over the manga feels like a completely different story. I really just want to spread the love for the show in hopes that at least one more person will check this out. Undead Girl Murder Farce is absolutely worth the watch. If you're still here, I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more videos. It's a race against time to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a good day.